Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the We Are Bitcoin podcast. I am very excited to bring you this episode. It was an interview I did for the TaHo community. TaHo is the only community-owned wallet. So it works very much like any Web3 wallet that you're used to, like say MetaMask, Liquidity, or things like that. But what makes it so special is that it has been completely created, maintained and supported by the community, by a DAO. And the reason why I want to do this interview with them is because TaHo recently has integrated itself with Rootstock. I myself, I am a Rootstock ambassador, so this is the layer 2 for decentralized applications on Bitcoin, and for us that we're trying to build an entire parallel economy or a financial system built on top of Bitcoin, now we can use all the applications from Rootstock using this community-owned wallet. So in this pursuit of decentralized finance that we're after, having a wallet that is not centralized is an incredibly big step forward. Now, because of the way the interview was done, which was in their Discord server, I was only able to record my side of the conversation. So you will be able to listen to my explanations and the way I answered all of their questions, but you won't be able to hear their questions. Still, I think this will be great for anyone that doesn't know a lot about Rootstock. So I go through the history and all the different applications and the different things you can use it for. And I will also encourage all of you to check out the TaHo community and their TaHo wallet. So, without further ado, here is the episode. Thank you. First, I just wanted to say that I've been following the first TaHo, now TaHo, project for a while before the Rootstock integration. So when the integration happened, I was very excited. I think it would be impossible to build truly decentralized finance without a wallet like TaHo that is not centralized. And the fact that you guys not only identified the problem, but also were able to create the solution and build this incredible community around it, that's just very impressive. So congratulations on that, and thank you for inviting us here to talk about Rootstock. We're also very excited on what Rootstock can offer. So let me give you a little bit of a history. Rootstock got started in 2018. It was created or designed by Sergio Lerner. He was an early Bitcoin developer. He was the one that found the most bugs in the Bitcoin code and helped fix them so that we have the Bitcoin that we have today. And he was also a very early developer in the ETH community. He saw that Ethereum did a really good job in creating a community of developers. I think if you look at how things are today, you can clearly see that the EVM chains are attracting the most developers and the most innovation in the DeFi space. And Bitcoin remains the largest crypto asset with the biggest network, the biggest market cap. So Rootstock is basically a way of combining the best of both worlds. Like, can you have the security and the decentralization of Bitcoin with the programmability that the EVM provide you? And the answer with Rootstock is yes. So in order to understand how Rootstock works simply, it's a sidechain of Bitcoin. So it's a layer 2. You can very easily bridge your Bitcoins into Rootstock and you get RBTC, which is always collateralized 1-to-1 with Bitcoin. And in that way, it keeps the value peg. And then once you are on the Rootstock blockchain, you can do pretty much anything you can do on the other EVM chains. and the gas fees that you pay on the network, you pay them with RBTC, so you don't need a different token. You're using basically Bitcoin. And those fees get paid to the Bitcoin miners. So the Bitcoin miners now have the opportunity to mine both Bitcoin and Rootstock at the same time and get paid by both chains, which this increases the security budget for Bitcoin because now mining is more profitable. At the moment, 57% of the hash rate in the Bitcoin main chain is also securing Rootstock, which makes it, at least to my eyes, the most secure smart contract platform out there. And we have over 3,000 Bitcoins inside the Rootstock blockchain, which is pretty impressive. There used to be a limit on the amount of Bitcoin that we allowed on the chain, but now the developer team is very, very confident. There is no longer any limit. So we could see, in theory, all the Bitcoins go into Rootstock. I don't think that's going to happen, but the limit has been lifted. So that was a huge milestone that we achieved very recently. So there's two bridges that you can use to send your Bitcoin to Rootstock. One is called a PAO-PEG. That is the most secure one. It also takes the more time because you need more confirmations in the Bitcoin blockchain to give that extra layer of security. And then we have another one that is called the Fast BTC, developed by the Sovereign team, which is one of the biggest teams developing on Rootstock. And that one is if you are wanting to do small amounts faster. So what you're doing is you're locking Bitcoin in a multi-sig in the Bitcoin blockchain. It is a federated model. At the moment, is the only way you can do a sidechain on Bitcoin. The idea is to eventually get to a fully trustless bridge that at the moment it doesn't exist. But the federation has a lot of limits in what they can do. The federation is only needed when you're trying to bridge out of Rootstock. What I'm trying to say is that it's not fully trustless, but it's trust minimized as much as possible. We're trying to get to the point where we don't need this federated model. At the moment, we do need it. And so you're locking Bitcoins in the multi-sig and you're unlocking RBTC on the Rootstock blockchain. And when you do the inverse process, when you try to bridge out, you're burning this Bitcoin in the Rootstock blockchain and you're unlocking the BTC on the other side. We also have bridges into Ethereum. So you can do the same thing with ETH. You can lock ETH on Ethereum and unlock ETH on Rootstock and do the same process in reverse. And you can do the same with the Binance chain. I think those are the two main chains that we have bridges out at the moment. And you can bring from Ethereum and Binance all the stablecoins as well. There's a lot of stuff happening at the moment. There's 3 main dApps working on Rootstock. The biggest one at the moment is called Sovereign. And Sovereign is almost like a Uniswap where you can go and you can trade in a decentralized way. It's a DAO, and we have all the tokens from the Rootstock ecosystem listed over there, plus the Ethereum and Binance that you're able to bridge in, and the stablecoins. As well, because this system, Rootstock, was designed by people that are Bitcoiners at heart, and the whole ecosystem is designed to bring value back to the Bitcoin main chain. That's why our native token is pegged one-to-one with Bitcoin, and that's why our fees go to the Bitcoin miners. We've also created the first fully decentralized Bitcoin-backed stablecoins, because I think that is one of the biggest problems in the DeFi space, is the over-reliance on centralized stablecoins, especially USDT and USDC, which have, to my eyes, a lot of attack vectors from governments and things like that, because they need to have the collateral in something like a bank account or a place where it can create problems, let's just say. So we created the first Bitcoin-backed stablecoins. And these ones, they are really powerful because all the collateral is only on-chain. So it's very difficult if someone wanted to attack the ecosystem to attack the stablecoins. Like you wouldn't be able to do it. At the moment, we have 2 different Bitcoin-backed stablecoins, and we are about very soon to release aggregation of all these Bitcoin-backed stablecoins into a single unit to make the liquidity not be so fractionalized. And what we want to accomplish is to start bridging this stablecoin out into other ecosystems as well. So I think that could be an incredible game changer for the entire DeFi space. If you can reduce your reliance on these centralized stablecoins. Right now we have one, it's called Dollar on Chain, which is created by the Money on Chain protocol running on Rootstock. It's a DAO, and they manage that stablecoin. And then we have Sovereign that has the stablecoin SetUSD. Both are backed by Bitcoin. They have different mechanics, which are great for different users. And we can go into details in each one if you guys want. And now we're going to release the Sovereign Dollar. The ticker is going to be DLLR. And it's going to be an aggregation of these 2 stablecoins with the possibility that if in the future there are other Bitcoin-backed stablecoins that we think they are solid and reliable, we would be able to add them to the Sovereign Dollar. So ideally, we would have this one basket of Bitcoin-only backed stablecoins. And we think that would make it the most resistant, resilient, and sovereign form of holding your capital. Yes. The DLLR will be backed by all the Bitcoin-backed stablecoins. So they are as decentralized as we can make them. At the moment, we have those 2, SetUSD and Dollar on Chain. Each one of them has its own DAO behind them. So we have Money on Chain DAO and the Sovereign DAO. And they are very decentralized in terms that just like any DAO, the community makes the decisions. You need the token to participate in the decision process. Each DAO has its own rules, but for example, in Sovereign, having the token is not enough. You also need to stake the token, and when you stake it, you can choose how long you want to stake it. So if you stake it for longer, you get more voting power. It's a way of incentivizing people that want to think long-term. So yeah, that's Sovereign is a very big community. I invite everyone that wants to find out more to go to the Sovereign Discord and even participate in the DAO itself. That would be incredible. Money on Chain is also very decentralized. I think at the moment, 80% of all the Money on Chain token is already staked. And so far, it's been working flawlessly. Even during these market crashes, when Bitcoin went from 69,000 to that big crash that we just had, the DAO was set up in such a way that the stablecoin never fluctuate from that $1 peg, which to me, as a member of the community, I've been a member for a while, that was a huge vote of confidence that what we're building is actually something resilient, especially with all the stablecoins that didn't make it. So yeah, I am very excited. So the Dollar on Chain, it basically works because it has 2 actors in this, let's call it a play. You have the people that want stability. They want the stablecoin. And they want to be able to deposit $1 of Bitcoin and get $1 in stablecoin, right? That's what they want. We see a lot of use cases, a lot of users from South America. That's where I'm from. All over Latin America, really, and places like Africa. There are a lot of people that are using it every day. And the way that it manages to keep the peg, even when the price of Bitcoin drops, is because there is another actor that adds extra collateral, right? You need to have more Bitcoin in reserves than the dollars that you're issuing, so that even when the price of Bitcoin drops, you still will always have enough reserves so that if everybody that's holding dollars wants to redeem it for the Bitcoin, they will be able to do so. So you need a second actor that's adding the extra liquidity, and they can do so by minting a different token, which is called BPRO, which is short for Bitcoin Pro. And when you acquire this token, this BPRO, what you're basically doing is you're absorbing all the volatility from the people that are holding the stablecoin. So what you're getting is like a Bitcoin, but with a slight leverage. So when the price of Bitcoin drops, the price of BPRO will drop a little bit more than Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin goes up, the price of the BPRO will go up a little bit more. So this is a perfect token for those who believe that Bitcoin is going to outperform the dollar in the long term. There's also a bunch of other incentives to get more people to get the BPRO, because basically the more BPRO the DAO can issue, then the more dollars at the same time it can issue. So the other benefits, there's other incentives for the VPRO holders, which is you get a percentage of the fees that the platform generates every time someone mints a token. And you also automatically start participating in liquidity mining. So you start earning the governance token for the platform itself, the MOC token, money on chain token. And then you can also participate in the governance structure. So that is basically, in a nutshell, how money on chain works. We're trying to attract people for the BPRO token, and that allows the DAO to issue more dollars. So far, and doing a historical review of the Bitcoin price action, we have had no issues with the peg, and the BPRO has steadily outperformed Bitcoin, which for us, at least for me as a Bitcoiner, that is something super attractive. I will just say as a disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm just trying to explain how it works, and anyone should do their own research before playing around with these dApps. I think that goes without saying, but I say it anyway. Yes and no. At the moment, there are not a lot of exchanges that will allow you to trade the Bitcoin backed stablecoin. That is one of the parts that we need to expand into more. There's a lot of peer-to-peer platforms that you can actually use these kinds of stablecoins. And you can also, if you want to cash out, you can trade for a different kind of stablecoin and then cash that out. Or, use it for Bitcoin and cash it out. There's also a lot of lending platforms you can deposit those stablecoins in within the Rootstock ecosystem, and you can earn some Bitcoin by doing so. But yeah, definitely, I think the part that we need to work more on is to add those bridges out and more use cases for these stablecoins, for sure. Yes, that is something that I think is very important, considering that Rootstock is an EVM compatible chain. So basically anything that's running right now on Ethereum could run on Rootstock. So we are hoping that more projects decide to bring their dApps into Rootstock and use the bridge as a way to connect liquidity from both chains, and in that way grow the Rootstock ecosystem, and also allowing all the other dApps that are running on EVM compatible chains to have a link to the Bitcoin network. Because let us remember that Rootstock right now it's secured by 57% of the Bitcoin hash rate. So that is something that we can offer to any project running on an EVM compatible chain. And the bridge is already running and it works. So I'm not a developer, but for speaking to a lot of developers, it wouldn't require a lot of effort to start bringing all these projects to the chain and expand the possibilities that the Bitcoin sidechain can offer, which to me, that is super exciting, because I am mainly a Bitcoiner, but I do see a lot of innovation and a lot of really interesting and powerful things happening in DeFi. And I think if we can combine both of them, that's probably the most powerful thing you can build right now. Yes, of course, please, any question, anything at all. I'm always lurking in Discord. So no worries. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm blown away by what you guys are building. I've been following you since before the Rootstock integration. I've signed the Web3 pledge. I'm fully on board with what you guys are building. I think we need wallets like this to be able to create truly decentralized parallel economies. I think that is very important. So I really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks, guys. I am hoping that both wallets and dApps become more user-friendly for a lot of non-crypto native people out there. A lot of what we're doing with Rootstock is focused on real solutions for real people with real problems. That's how I like to put it. So I would like to see both the dApps and the wallets, UI and the UX, become so simple and easy that anybody would be able to use them. Because again, I come from South America. I was born in Argentina. Inflation is a horrible thing and it's getting worse and worse every day. And for a lot of people, just if they can access this kind of dollars, this kind of stable coins that are backed by Bitcoin, so they're extremely, extremely resilient, that could not only change their lives, but it could also mean onboarding a huge amount of people that need all this stuff. I think a lot of what you see in DeFi is very cool, but what we're trying to build is stuff that people actually need. And at least my experience as an ambassador for the Rootstock blockchain is that it's hard to get people to understand and use all this stuff.